Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into 10 Pillars of Wealth. It's a research paper, and, well, it claims to have cracked the code on achieving serious wealth.
Mm.
And we're not just talking, saving tips here. This paper is all about mindset shifts and strategies to build, like lasting financial abundance. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a rut?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you're trading your precious time for just enough money to, just get by.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack how to break free from that cycle and build a life of, well, true freedom.
You know what I find fascinating about this paper is that it just throws out the traditional slow and steady approach to wealth. It really dives deep into the mindsets and actions that can accelerate your path to financial success, but in a way that's more about like building systems than just, hustling harder.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Let's jump right into the deep end with what the author calls the secret pillar. Now, this isn't even officially listed in the 10 pillars, but he argues that it's like the foundation for everything else. It's this idea of making a conscious, unwavering decision to be wealthy, like truly deciding it's non-negotiable for you.
Yeah, it's about that internal shift where wealth becomes a priority, not just like a wish.
Right.
The paper argues that most people, they just hope for wealth, but they don't actually decide to achieve it.
Hmm.
And this decision, it's not about greed or anything like that. It's about, taking control of your financial destiny.
So it's less about like, I want to be rich and more about, I am going to be wealthy no matter what. It seems like a subtle but powerful difference. It's about making a commitment and taking ownership of your financial future.
Exactly. And this decision, the author argues, it informs every other action you take. It's about aligning your choices with your commitment to wealth, even when you're faced with, setbacks. This unwavering commitment. It's what separates those who achieve extraordinary success from those who just, dream about it.
So it's like setting a destination on a map,
Mm.
but then actually starting the journey, even if there are roadblocks along the way. And this secret pillar ties in perfectly with another core concept, separating time from income. It's the idea that real wealth isn't about trading hours for dollars. It's about building systems that generate income independently of your time.
Right. The paper calls this the traffic fighter cycle, this constant feeling of being stuck, trading your time for just enough money to like get by. It's like you're always stuck in traffic, whether it's literally commuting or just feeling trapped in a job you don't love. To break free, you need to create income streams that don't require your constant presence.
That traffic fighter analogy, it really hits home for me. I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling of being stuck on a hamster wheel, working hard, but not really, getting ahead. So how does the paper suggest we escape this cycle and start building those independent income streams?
Well, the paper dives into different business models, right? It categorizes them as cash flow, high investment scalable, and long-term investment businesses. And it argues that high investment scalable businesses, or Henny's businesses, are key to real wealth.
Okay.
These are businesses that, they require more upfront effort and resources,
Yeah.
but they have the potential for massive growth, and they can be sold for a high profit.
So instead of building a job for yourself, you're building a system that works for you, even when you're not, directly involved. It's about leverage and scalability, right?
Yeah.
Creating something that can grow exponentially without requiring a proportional increase in, your time.
Exactly. The author uses some vivid examples, like software companies, where the initial investment, might be significant, but the potential for growth is enormous. Once the system is in place, it can serve millions of customers without you needing to personally interact with each one. The author even refers to Jordan Belfort, the infamous Wolf of Wall Street, who built a system that essentially like cloned himself by training a huge sales force to, replicate his proven sales tactics.
Wow. It's like building a machine that prints money even while you sleep. I know that's a compelling image. But the paper doesn't just stop at business models. It also dives deep into the mindset shifts needed for wealth creation, right?
Absolutely. Several of the pillars focus on cultivating the right mindset. One that really stood out to me was Pillar 5, adopting an abundance mindset. The paper argues that your beliefs about money directly impact your ability to, attract it.
So it's the idea that if you believe money is scarce and hard to come by, you're likely to make decisions from a place of fear, which can actually sabotage your efforts to build wealth. It's almost like A self-fulfilling prophecy.
Precisely. The author uses a striking phrase. He says, money is repulsed by people with a scarcity mindset.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about shifting your perspective from lack to abundance, believing that there's, enough wealth to go round and that you have the power to create your share.
I've definitely been guilty of having a scarcity mindset at times,
Mm.
always worrying about saving every penny and feeling like I never have enough. It makes sense that this kind of thinking could actually hold you back from achieving, financial freedom.
Right. The paper emphasizes that adopting an abundance mindset, it isn't just about positive thinking. It's about taking action from a place of confidence and possibility.
Right.
This might involve investing in yourself, pursuing new opportunities, or even spending money strategically to, generate more income.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about believing in your ability to create wealth
Yeah.
and then making choices that support that belief.
It ties in nicely with the idea of separating time from income, doesn't it? If you believe you can create abundance, you're more likely to invest the time and energy to build those systems that can generate income, independently of your direct effort.
Absolutely. These mindsets, they work together to
Hmm.
create a powerful foundation for wealth creation.
So we've talked about the secret pillar of making the decision to be wealthy, breaking free from that traffic fighter cycle by separating time from income, and adopting an abundance mindset. These seem like pretty fundamental shifts in perspective. But what about practical actions? Does the paper offer any guidance on how to actually apply these principles in daily life?
It does, absolutely. One of the most practical and impactful concepts is Pillar 7, mapping out actions that achieve goals. The paper breaks down the process of setting effective goals and creating a clear roadmap for achieving them. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Goal setting. I mean, it's something we all do, but most of us probably don't do it very effectively. What's the author's take on, how to set goals that actually lead to results, especially in the context of wealth creation?
Well, the author, he distinguishes between what he calls mental masturbation goals, those grand, vague aspirations we all have, versus concrete, actionable goals that drive progress. And he argues that most people fail to achieve their financial goals because they don't define them clearly or break them down into manageable
So
steps.
it's like having a destination in mind, but no map or directions to get there.
Mm.
You might start walking, but without a clear path, you're likely to get lost or discouraged along the way.
Exactly. The paper suggests a three-step framework. First, you define your big goal. Then you break it down into 5 or more smaller strategic goals. And then you decompose each smaller goal into even smaller actionable tasks.
Hmm.
It's about creating a clear roadmap for your success, with each step leading logically to the next.
So instead of just saying, like, I want to be a millionaire, you would break that down into smaller goals, like start an online business or invest in real estate, and then further break those goals down into, specific tasks.
Precisely. And the key is to make those tasks actionable. For example, instead of create a website, your task might be choose a domain name or write the homepage content.
Okay.
By breaking your goals down into these bite-sized, manageable steps, you make the process less intimidating and increase your likelihood of taking, consistent action.
It's like a paint-by-numbers approach to achieving your financial goals. You might not see the whole picture at first, but by focusing on completing each small section, you eventually create, like, a masterpiece.
I like that analogy. The author emphasizes that consistency is key. Even small actions, when taken consistently over time, they can lead to significant results. It's about building momentum and creating a habit of taking action toward your goals.
This approach seems so much more manageable than trying to tackle, like, a huge, overwhelming goal all at once. It's about making progress, like one step at a time,
Yeah.
celebrating each milestone and staying motivated by seeing, tangible results along the way.
And the author argues that this process, it also helps to refine your vision and identify potential obstacles early on.
Okay.
As you break down your goals and start taking action, you'll inevitably encounter challenges or realize that some of your initial assumptions were, off.
That makes sense. It's better to identify those challenges early on
Yeah.
and adjust your strategy accordingly, rather than pushing forward blindly and hitting a major roadblock later down the line.
Exactly. This proactive approach, it allows you to adapt, learn, and ultimately make more informed decisions as you progress towards, your financial goals.
So by defining clear goals, breaking them down into manageable steps, and taking consistent action, we can start to build momentum
Yeah.
and escape that traffic fighter cycle
Right. And remember, this process of goal setting and action taking, it's directly influenced by your underlying beliefs and mindsets.
Hmm.
If you don't believe you're capable of achieving your goals, you're less likely to put in the effort or take the necessary risks.
So that's where the other pillars come in, right?
Mhm.
Cultivating an abundance mindset, believing in your own greatness,
Mhm.
and taking ownership of your circumstances. Those are the foundations that support the structure of wealth creation.
Precisely. They provide the fuel and the direction for your journey.
So let's dive a little deeper into some of those mindset-focused pillars and explore how we can cultivate the beliefs and attitudes that can help us achieve financial freedom.
Let's start with pillar 3, accepting that you must be better than everyone else. Now, I know that might sound a bit harsh, maybe even a bit egotistical, but the author, he presents it in a way that's more about, striving for excellence than putting others down.
Yeah, I was a little taken aback by that title at first, too. It does sound like a bit cutthroat, you know.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about like breaking free from mediocrity and achieving extraordinary success, maybe that level of ambition is necessary.
Yeah.
So how does the author justify this seemingly radical idea?
Well, he argues that most people, they're just conditioned to accept average, an average job, an average income, an average life, which is fine, if that's what you truly desire. But to achieve extraordinary results, you need to break free from that mindset and embrace the challenge of being, you know, exceptional in your chosen field.
So it's not about being better than everyone else just for the sake of it, right? It's
Yeah.
about setting a higher standard for yourself
Hmm.
and constantly striving to improve your skills and knowledge.
Exactly. The author, he frames it as a competition, not necessarily against other people, but against mediocrity itself. He uses the analogy of aiming to be in the top 1% of earners in your field. Now, that's a challenging goal, right? But it forces you to push yourself beyond your comfort zone and develop the skills and mindset needed to achieve, truly exceptional results.
I see what you mean. It's about setting your sights high and then working relentlessly to reach that level of mastery. But how do we actually develop that belief in our own greatness? I mean, it's easy to say be better, but how do we actually translate that into action?
Well, the author, he introduces a concept he calls the BLR system, which stands for belief, actions, and results. And he argues that your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions ultimately determine your outcomes. So if you believe you're capable of being exceptional, you're more likely to take the actions that will lead to, extraordinary results.
So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe in your own potential, you're more likely to put in the effort, take risks, and persevere through challenges. But if you constantly doubt yourself and focus on your limitations, you're likely to sabotage your own success.
Precisely. And the author emphasizes that this belief, it isn't about arrogance. It's about having the confidence to pursue your goals with conviction.
Yeah.
And the resilience to overcome, obstacles along the way. It's about knowing that you have what it takes to succeed, even if you haven't, fully realized your potential yet.
That unwavering faith in yourself, even when things get tough. It's the belief that you can figure things out, adapt, and ultimately achieve what you set out to do.
Right. And this belief, it's fueled by action. The author argues that if you spend enough time, focused on mastering your craft, developing your skills, and putting in the work, it's almost impossible not to become, exceptional. It's about consistently taking steps in the right direction and learning from every experience, including, the failures.
Makes me think of that saying, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried.
Yeah.
It's about embracing those challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning.
Absolutely. This pillar encourages us to reject the fear of failure that often holds us back from pursuing our true potential. It's about, embracing challenges, learning from mistakes, and
Yeah.
constantly striving for improvement.
It's like that growth mindset idea, the belief that you can always learn and improve no matter where you're starting from.
Exactly. And this mindset shift, the author argues, it's essential for achieving not just financial success, but success in any area of life.
Okay, so we've got this idea of aiming high, believing in our own greatness, and not being afraid to fail. It seems like there's a theme emerging here, a shift from a passive, hope-driven approach to a more proactive, action-oriented mindset.
That's a great observation. And this leads us to another powerful concept, pillar 4, knowing every little thing is 100% your fault.
Hmm.
Now, I know this one might sound a bit harsh, even discouraging at first glance, but the author, he presents it in a way that's actually incredibly empowering.
I can see how that might be like a tough pill to swallow, especially for someone who's used to, blaming external factors for their circumstances. But how does taking on that level of responsibility actually lead to like empowerment?
Well, it's about shifting your focus from being a victim of circumstance to becoming the architect of your own destiny.
Well,
By accepting full responsibility for your outcomes, you acknowledge that you have the power to influence your reality.
it's about taking control, right? Instead of feeling helpless in the face of like challenges or setbacks, you recognize that you have the ability to, make choices, learn from your mistakes,
Yeah.
and ultimately create the life you want.
Exactly. And the author clarifies that this doesn't mean denying the influence of, external factors. It's about recognizing that you always have a choice
Mhm.
in how you respond to those factors
Yeah.
and the actions you take.
So even when things happen that are, outside of our control, we still have the power to choose how we react
Mhm.
and what we do next. It's about focusing on what we can control
Mm.
rather than dwelling on things we can't.
Precisely. And the author emphasizes that this concept of fault, it isn't about assigning blame. It's about understanding the cause and effect relationships that shape our experiences.
So it's less about beating ourselves up for like past mistakes
Hmm.
and more about learning from those experiences
Hmm.
and using that knowledge to make better choices in the future.
Exactly. It's about developing that self-awareness and using it to make, more informed decisions, even when faced with challenging situations.
It makes me think of that quote, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Mm.
If we want to achieve different outcomes, we need to be willing to, take responsibility for our choices. Yeah. And make changes where needed.
That's a great connection. And the author, he provides a helpful analogy. He asks readers to imagine being like magically paid $1,000 for every mile you run. So in that scenario, wouldn't you prioritize running as fast and as far as possible?
Of course. I mean, I'd be laser focused on maximizing my running output,
Mm.
optimizing my technique,
Yeah,
and making sure I was in, peak physical condition.
exactly. And any activity that didn't directly contribute to, increasing your running speed or distance would just be a waste of time and potential income. You delegate or eliminate those tasks to free up more time for running.
So it's about identifying those high ROI activities in our lives, the things that have the biggest impact on our goals,
Hmm.
and then prioritizing those actions above all else. It's about like working smarter, not harder, right?
Precisely. And this applies to all areas of life, not just, wealth creation. Whether you're aiming to improve your health, build stronger relationships, or excel in your career, the principle remains the same. Focus on the actions that have the biggest impact and ruthlessly eliminate or delegate the rest.
It's about being intentional with our time and energy and making sure we're investing our resources in the areas that will, yield the greatest returns.
Right. And this ties in directly with another pillar we discussed earlier. Pillar 8, focusing solely on what gets you paid.
I see the connection. It's all about identifying those key actions that drive results, and then ruthlessly eliminating distractions and low-value tasks. But how do we actually apply this principle in our daily lives? It's easy to say focus on what matters, but the real world, it's full of distractions and demands on our time.
Well, the author, he provides a practical framework for identifying and prioritizing those high ROI actions. First, you need to clearly define what getting paid means in the context of your goal. So if your goal is to build a successful business, getting paid might mean closing deals, launching new products, or expanding into new markets.
So it's about identifying the specific actions that directly contribute to achieving, your desired outcomes.
Exactly. Then you need to analyze how you currently spend your time and assess whether your actions are, truly aligned with your goals. Are you spending most of your day on tasks that directly contribute to getting paid, or are you getting bogged down in, low-value busy work?
It's about being honest with ourselves,
Right.
right? And recognizing where we might be wasting time or energy
Yeah.
on activities that aren't moving the needle forward.
Right. And once you've identified those high ROI actions,
Right.
it's essential to ruthlessly, eliminate or delegate any tasks
Yeah.
that don't directly contribute to your goals.
Mhm. That's where the discipline comes in, right? It's easy to get caught up in the urgency of the day-to-day and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Absolutely. The author, he stresses the importance of being, intentional with your time and energy. He suggests using tools like time tracking apps or scheduling blocks in your calendar dedicated solely to those high ROI activities.
Hmm. It's about creating that structure and discipline to ensure that you're consistently prioritizing the actions. That will drive you toward your goals.
And remember, this process of identifying and prioritizing high ROI actions, it's not a one-time exercise. It's something you need to revisit regularly as your goals evolve and your circumstances change.
Right, that makes sense. What might be high ROI activity today might become less relevant as your business grows or your priorities shift. It's about staying adaptable and constantly evaluating what's truly, moving the needle forward.
Exactly. And the author emphasizes that as your business or career evolves, you'll likely need to delegate or automate more tasks to free up your time for higher level strategic thinking and decision making.
So it's a continuous process of refinement, delegation, and automation. As you grow, you free up your time and energy to focus on those high impact activities that only you can do.
Precisely. And this brings us back to that core concept of separating time from income by building systems and processes that can operate. Without your constant involvement, you free yourself to focus on those high-level activities that truly drive growth and wealth creation.
It's like building that money printing machine we talked about earlier. The goal is to create a business or a system that works for you, even when you're not, actively working in it.
Exactly. And this leads us to another crucial aspect of wealth creation, Pillar 9. Understanding and controlling people. Now, I know this might sound a bit manipulative, or even unethical, but the author, he presents it in a way that's more about developing effective communication and leadership skills.
Yeah, that title definitely raised an eyebrow for me. It sounds a bit Machiavellian, you know. But I'm guessing it's more about like understanding human psychology
Right.
and how to influence people in a positive and ethical way.
You're exactly right. The author argues that that understanding human behavior is crucial for achieving success in any field, but especially in business and wealth creation.
It's about building relationships,
Right.
right? Connecting with people, understanding their needs and motivations, and communicating in a way that resonates with them.
Precisely. And the author emphasizes that this applies to all aspects of business, from attracting customers and building a loyal following, to negotiating deals, managing employees, and creating a positive and productive work environment.
It makes sense. I mean, even if you have like the best product or service in the world, if you can't effectively communicate its value or build strong relationships with, customers and partners, you're unlikely to succeed.
Absolutely. The author argues that developing these people skills is crucial for turning ideas into, profitable ventures.
So how do we actually develop these skills? Are we talking about charisma, sales techniques, or something else entirely?
Well, the author, he provides a multifaceted approach for beginners. He stresses the importance of, mastering the art of selling. He views selling at its core as persuasion and influence. It's about understanding what motivates people and communicating in a way that that resonates with their needs and desires.
So it's not just about like pushing a product or service, right? It's about genuinely understanding your audience and presenting your offering in a way that that aligns with their values and aspirations.
Exactly. And in the author, he recommends studying the works of, sales and marketing experts like Dan Kennedy to gain insights into the psychology of persuasion and effective communication strategies. He also emphasizes the value of, practical experience, encouraging readers to get out there, engage with potential customers, and learn from their interactions.
It's about getting comfortable with like putting yourself out there, right? Even if it means facing, rejection or making mistakes along the way.
Right. The author even encourages individuals to embrace social discomfort and actively engage in challenging social situations. He believes that pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone is essential for developing, confidence and honing your communication skills.
That makes sense. I mean, the more you practice, the more comfortable you become. But what about for those who are already like experienced in business or sales? Does the author offer any advanced strategies for understanding and controlling people?
He does. For more seasoned individuals, he suggests focusing on refining their vision and marketing to ensure that their brand, resonates with their target audience, and effectively communicates the value they offer. He also emphasizes the importance of, building a strong team and developing leadership skills to inspire and motivate others.
It's about creating a shared vision and then empowering your team to help you achieve it.
Right. And he also recommends seeking out mentors who can offer, guidance and feedback, helping you identify blind spots and refine your approach.
So it's a continuous journey of learning, refining, and adapting your approach
Yeah.
to effectively understand and influence the people you interact with,
Yeah.
whether they're customers, partners, or team members.
Exactly. And the author argues that this skill set, it's not only valuable for financial success, but also for, personal growth and building meaningful relationships in all aspects of life.
It's about becoming a more effective communicator
Yeah.
and a more influential leader, which are valuable skills no matter what your goals are.
Absolutely. And this brings us to another crucial pillar that ties into the theme of human connection. Pillar 10, finding competitive friends and suitable mentors.
I love this one. It's about the power of, surrounding yourself with the right people, those who challenge and inspire you to reach your full potential.
Exactly. The author argues that the people you spend the most time with, they have a profound impact on your beliefs, your habits, and ultimately your success. He uses the analogy of a pack of animals, explaining how humans, like other, social creatures, they tend to adopt the behaviors and values of their social group.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who are, content with mediocrity, you're more likely to settle for less than your best. But if you're surrounded by ambitious, driven individuals, their energy and aspirations can be contagious, inspiring you to set higher goals and work harder to achieve them.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of competitive friends comes in. These are individuals who are on a similar path to success as you, striving to achieve similar goals. And having competitive friends, it creates a dynamic where you're constantly challenged and inspired to improve.
It's like having like a built-in support system
Mm-hmm.
and an accountability partner who understands your journey
Yeah.
and pushes you to be your best.
Precisely. And the author, he also highlights the importance of seeking guidance from, suitable mentors. These are individuals who have already achieved the level of success you aspire to, offering invaluable insights and shortcuts based on their experience.
It's like having like a guide on your journey, someone who can help you navigate the challenges, avoid pitfalls, and accelerate your progress.
Right. Mentors can offer, practical strategies, real-world feedback, and even access to opportunities that you might not have discovered on your own.
But the author emphasizes that finding the right mentors is crucial, right? He suggests seeking out mentors who are like actively engaged in their field, whose primary business is not, mentoring, and who are like a few steps ahead of you on the path to success, making their advice practical and relatable.
That makes a lot of sense. You want someone who's, actively in the game, not just someone who's giving theoretical advice from the sidelines.
Exactly. And the author also suggests being willing to pay for mentorship, viewing it as an investment in your growth and a shortcut to valuable knowledge and experience.
So it's about being proactive in building your network, seeking out those competitive friends and suitable mentors, and then nurturing those relationships. These connections, they can be incredibly valuable assets on your journey to, to success.
It's like build like a team of advisors and supporters who are all invested in your success.
And the author, he highlights a powerful statement that captures the essence of this principle. He says, with the right people in your life, you will be driven to be successful and have the cheat codes to get there.
I love that. It's about harnessing the collective wisdom and support of your network to propel you forward and achieve, greater heights than you might reach alone.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we don't have to, do it all alone. By surrounding ourselves with the right people, we can accelerate our growth, gain valuable insights, and achieve, extraordinary results.
Now let's shift gears a bit and explore the author's perspective on the traditional get rich slowly approach, which he strongly criticizes throughout the paper.
Yeah, he argues that the conventional wisdom of, saving diligently and investing conservatively, while seemingly safe, is actually fraught with risks and limitations.
He boldly states that getting rich slowly substantially lowers your quality of life until the day you die, highlighting the opportunity cost
Yeah.
associated with delaying gratification and settling for mediocrity.
Right. He identifies three major risks associated with this approach.
The first is what he calls the financial risk of getting rich slowly.
Yeah.
This refers to the vulnerability of relying on a single source of income, typically from a job,
Yeah.
which exposes individuals to factors beyond their control.
Right. Things like economic downturns,
Mhm.
company layoffs, industry shifts, and unexpected health issues.
Mhm.
These can derail even the most meticulously crafted financial plans, leading to financial hardship and instability.
He compares this reliance on a job for income to like a gamble,
Mhm.
arguing that individuals have very little control over their financial security
Yeah.
when their livelihood is dependent on external forces.
The second risk is the quality of life sacrifice.
And this refers to the idea that the get rich slowly approach
Mhm.
often requires individuals to dedicate a significant portion of their time and energy to work, leaving little room for pursuing passions,
Mm.
spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying life to the fullest.
It's a trade-off that many people make, believing that they need to, endure years of hard work and sacrifice to eventually achieve financial freedom.
But the author argues that this delay in gratification
Hmm.
can be detrimental to overall well-being. It can lead to like burnout, resentment,
Right.
and a sense of missed opportunities.
Right. He suggests that the pursuit of wealth, it shouldn't come at the cost of living a meaningful and enjoyable life. It's about finding that balance between pursuing your financial goals and creating a life you love living, right now.
And the third risk is the illusion of safety.
Right. This challenges the common perception that the traditional path to wealth,
Mm.
with its emphasis on saving and slow, steady growth, is inherently safer.
He argues that relying on a single source of income, often from a job, is actually quite risky. It subjects you to the whims of the market, the decisions of your employer,
Mhm.
and economic forces beyond your control.
He contrasts this with the entrepreneurial approach,
Yeah.
where individuals, they took control of their financial future by building businesses and pursuing opportunities that allow them to be, in the driver's seat, even though it might seem riskier at first glance.
So instead of relying on like someone else to provide you with a paycheck, you're creating your own opportunities,
Mhm.
building assets, and generating income on your own terms.
Exactly. And while, entrepreneurship, it certainly comes with its own set of challenges and risks, the author argues that the potential rewards far outweigh the risks associated with, staying stuck in that get-rich-slowly trap.
He emphasizes that the world of business,
Yeah.
it offers the potential for like exponential growth, unlike traditional savings accounts where interest accrues slowly.
Right, by focusing on the right actions,
Yeah.
learning from mistakes, and adapting quickly.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurs can accelerate their wealth creation journey in ways that are simply not possible through, conventional methods.
It's about embracing that growth mindset, taking calculated risks,
Yeah.
and being willing to learn and adapt along the way.
Precisely. And the author, he uses an interesting analogy to illustrate this concept. He asks readers to imagine two individuals, one who diligently saves $10,000 per year, and another who focuses on building a business.
Okay.
So while the saver might feel secure with their, steadily growing nest egg, the entrepreneur, even if they experience, initial setbacks, has the potential to achieve, significantly greater financial gains in a shorter time frame due to the power of leverage and exponential growth inherent in business.
So it's about recognizing that the traditional path to wealth is often a slow and linear process, while entrepreneurship, it offers the potential for exponential growth. It's like choosing between climbing a mountain one step at a time versus taking a helicopter ride to the top.
I like that analogy, and it's important to note that the author's critique of the get-rich-slowly approach, it isn't meant to, discourage saving or financial responsibility.
Right. It's more about challenging that conventional thinking and exploring alternative paths to wealth creation that offer, greater potential for financial freedom and a higher quality of life.
Exactly. He encourages individuals to, to embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, take ownership of their financial destiny, and actively pursue opportunities for growth and expansion, even if those opportunities involve taking, calculated risks and stepping outside of their comfort zones.
It's about recognizing that true financial security comes from,
Yeah.
building assets and generating income, not from relying on a single source of income from a job.
Exactly. And this brings us back to the concept of separating time from income, which is at the heart of the author's approach to, wealth creation.
It's about building systems that generate income independently of your time, freeing you from the need to constantly, trade hours for dollars.
Right. And the author emphasizes that building these systems, it's crucial not only for achieving financial freedom, but also for, enhancing your quality of life.
It's about having the time and resources
Yeah.
to pursue your passions, spend time with loved ones, and create a life that aligns with your values and aspirations.
Exactly. It's about creating a life of freedom and abundance, both financially and personally.
Now, let's dive into the author's perspective on what constitutes, real wealth.
Okay, he makes a clear distinction between simply having money and possessing true wealth, arguing that real wealth lies in the ability to, to generate income without direct time investment.
So it's not just about having like a big bank account. It's about having that financial freedom and flexibility to live life on your own, on your own terms.
He emphasizes that building businesses that operate, independently of your direct involvement is the key to achieving both financial freedom and a high quality of life.
So it's about creating that passive income,
Right.
where the money flows in, whether you're, actively working or not.
Precisely. And he delves into the different business models we discussed earlier, explaining how, each type can contribute to building real wealth. He argues that CF businesses, while offering a high profit margin and requiring, minimal initial investment, they eventually hit a plateau because they're inherently limited by the amount of, time you can invest.
Okay, so they're often service-based, relying heavily on the owner's time and expertise, making them difficult to sell as their value is tied to the individual rather than the system.
Right, rather than the system itself.
Okay.
In contrast, he advocates for creating haste businesses where the income generating process can be, replicated and scaled without requiring a proportional increase in personal time.
And he provides examples, right?
Yes, like software companies, where the initial investment might be higher, but the potential for growth is, exponential. Once the system is in place, it can serve, hundreds of thousands of customers with minimal additional effort, making it, highly scalable and attractive to potential buyers.
So the author uses the analogy of a machine to illustrate this concept, emphasizing that entrepreneurs should focus on building systems that function like, well-oiled machines, generating income whether the owner is present or not. And he highlights his own software businesses as examples, explaining how they run automatically, generating income while he's asleep, on vacation, or, engaged in other activities, freeing him from the need to constantly, trade time for money.
It's a powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
Building a system that generates income while you're, living your life, pursuing your passions, or simply spending time with loved ones.
Absolutely. And this aligns with his emphasis on Pillar 2, separating time from money, where he dives deep into strategies for creating, passive income streams. He draws inspiration from Jordan Belfort, who scaled his business by essentially cloning himself, training a sales force to implement his proven sales tactics.
That's a great example of, leverage and systematization, right? Creating a repeatable process and training others to, to implement it. Individuals can multiply their earning potential without being directly involved in every, transaction.
Right. The author believes that creating this passive income, where the money is generated by the, machine you've built, is the path to true wealth and freedom.
It allows individuals to, to enjoy the fruits of their labor without being tethered to a job or a time-intensive business, giving them the flexibility to, to live life on their own terms.
So instead of being like a slave to your business, you become the master of your time and your destiny.
Exactly. And this leads us back to the core message of the book. Building real wealth requires shifting from a time for money mentality to a systems-based approach.
Right. By creating businesses that generate income passively, entrepreneurs can achieve financial freedom, enhance their quality of life,
Yeah.
and ultimately achieve, their desired level of wealth.
And the author provides, practical steps for implementing this concept, focusing on identifying high ROI activities,
Yeah.
automating and delegating tasks,
Right.
and building systems rather than, jobs.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah.
And creating a business that functions like a well-oiled machine, operating independently of your time and effort.
Precisely.
And remember, separating time from income. It's a process, not an overnight achievement. It requires an initial investment of time and effort to set up systems, delegate effectively, and automate processes. But the author emphasizes that the long-term rewards are significant, allowing individuals to achieve, financial freedom and create a life of greater flexibility and choice.
And it's worth reiterating that separating time from income is closely aligned with his advice on building, scalable, sellable businesses, which he discusses in detail in the bonus chapter.
Right.
A business that can operate without your constant involvement. It's not only more attractive to potential buyers, but also allows you to, to step away from the day-to-day operations and focus on other pursuits, whether it's starting new ventures, spending time with family, or simply enjoying your newfound freedom.
Exactly. It's about building a business that has value beyond, your own time and effort, making it a truly valuable asset that can generate income for you, even if you're not, directly involved in running it.
Exactly.
Now let's look at a specific quote from the paper that perfectly encapsulates this principle of separating time from income. On page 20, the author states,
In fact, the only thing that limits my income is the size of the market and how well my system sells to it.
now this quote, it reveals several key insights into the author's approach to, wealth creation. First, it highlights that he successfully removed the time constraint from his income equation. His system, which primarily based on software, it operates independently of his direct involvement, allowing him to generate income continuously, even when he's not actively working.
It's a testament to the power of creating passive income streams, where money is earned without requiring your constant attention. Second, the quote emphasizes the power of scalability. The system he's built. It can handle an unlimited number of customers with minimal additional effort from him. And the scalability is the key to achieving exponential growth, as the income potential is directly proportional to the size of the market reached and the effectiveness of the sales process.
This ties back to his emphasis on building, he has businesses that can be automated and operated without requiring a proportional increase in, personal time investment.
The quote reveals that his primary focus is on system optimization. Once the system is in place, his main concern is ensuring its, smooth operation and maximizing its sales effectiveness. This might involve, refining marketing strategies, improving the user experience of a software, or identifying and addressing any, bottlenecks in the sales funnel.
And finally, the quote highlights that the only limitations to his income are the size of the target market and the effectiveness of his system in converting potential customers into paying customers.
Right. This underscores the importance of both selecting a large enough market with ample demand and continuously optimizing the sales system to maximize conversion rates.
This quote exemplifies how the author has successfully implemented the principles of Pillar 2, separating time from money, to create a business that generates passive income, allowing him to achieve financial freedom and a high quality of life. It reinforces his central message that true wealth is built by creating systems that work for you, not by trading your time for money.
So it's not just about working hard; it's about working smart and creating a system that can continue to generate income even when you're not actively working in it.
Exactly. And the author, he provides practical advice on how to build these systems, focusing on identifying repeatable processes, documenting and standardizing those processes, exploring opportunities for automation, and delegating effectively.
It's about creating a business that functions more like, a well-oiled machine, operating smoothly and efficiently, even without your direct involvement.
And he emphasizes that building these systems and processes, it's not a one-time task,
Yeah.
but an ongoing process of, refinement and optimization.
Mm.
He encourages entrepreneurs to, regularly review and refine their systems, seek feedback from those, managing them, and implement improvements to, enhance their effectiveness.
He believes that this ongoing focus on systematization is key to creating a business that can operate smoothly and efficiently, even without your direct involvement, paving the way for greater scalability, profitability, and ultimately financial freedom.
So it's not just about, building a system. It's about constantly refining and improving that system to maximize its effectiveness.
Exactly.
And this leads us back to the core message of the book. Building real wealth requires shifting from a time for money mentality to a systems-based approach where you focus on creating and optimizing systems that can generate income passively, allowing you to achieve financial freedom and live life on your own terms.
It's a powerful message that challenges, conventional thinking and offers a roadmap for achieving extraordinary success.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. I'm already rethinking my own approach to wealth creation and feeling inspired to take action.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, the journey to financial freedom starts with a single step. So take that step today and embrace the possibilities that await you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking knowledge.